everyone, and welcome to another episode of our City of Mist campaign, The Reaper Soldiers. As always, this is Mr. JP Stilts, and I'm very happy to be back again in the madness that is our game. We are joined by William, Eric, and Georgie tonight, and last week, everybody kind of, the crew separated on, I wouldn't necessarily call on even, definitely uneasy terms, each of them with a certain task in mind. William and Eric wanted to get more information on these stones, these sacred stones that the handler Talia had brought up that seemed to be a very powerful thing, possibly a thing that brought many people here. And so they headed off to the library, found out a bit of information there as far as the location of these stones, a cave beneath the Church of Santa Teresa de Avila, the same church that William has been to before, the same church that William fought a whole bunch of beastmen, a bear person, and then the large avatar of the stag head. The church that the lake, splashed down upon. So he's familiar with the location. From there, they also learned that the Gallery of Great Arts has a small little exhibit of the originals. There's not much there. The gallery itself is a great large place, many different exhibits, rooms, things to explore and look, but primarily, only people that go there are either tourists or people from the university, maybe field trips from the school, that kind of thing. Within this small little exhibit, there was a bit of pottery, some strange tools that had been found. There was a sketching by a man named Wolfram Lippert, who seemed to be the archaeologist or the individual that had discovered this cave about 50 years ago. He had a bit of writing and was kind of idolized in a plaque there. In it, he described that nothing really is known of the people, the social organization, or religious beliefs of whoever erected these stones in the cave. There's not even a trace of their language. There was nothing there that actually showed their language, so it's unclear what he meant by that. But they do know that they seem to bury their dead. They had the skills to grow cereal, farm, make pottery, stone tools, jewelry, things like that. So very few details are known. While that was happening, Willow and Georgie went for a drink in the bar, talked a little bit. Willow learned about a little of Georgie's situation in her childhood, at least. They were accompanied by another woman that had been staying with Georgie, kind of not really a friend, but Adeline Cook, just a frequent guest of hers when she's at this tavern. And Mike went off to do Mike things. He wanted to get his glasses fixed, ends up hurting some guy and getting chased by police. That just Mike stuff. So as we start off today, it's Thursday. It's Thursday the 18th. Another day has passed, enough time to settle on the thoughts of strange stones and unknown languages, of sights of wars with demons and devils through the eyes of another, secrets kept to oneself, lack of knowledge of who to trust. Just a day to maybe focus on the more normal tasks of your life. But regardless of the day, the crew now sits together, quiet, for a moment. Where are you? Where have you decided to meet?
We were talking about another location that wasn't the pit. Did we ever settle on that? Do you guys remember?
I thought we were going for the abandoned place. The abandoned warehouse.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to go to the quarantined one because, dangerous Ebola, or Black Plague.
Yeah, oh no.
Oh no, boo-hoo!
I would be afraid of horrifying diseases.
Not the vampire, I mean, no, it doesn't matter. I can fix you all, it's okay.
No, thank you.
To the abandoned warehouse!
So you
Okay.
Fine.
Right. So you all plan to meet at the location of the abandoned warehouse. The location of this warehouse is on the bridge. I can kind of show you over here. There's a little bridge that crosses over into the east slums. Eric, you would have remembered from having studied the book how each location kind of has their own secret way of getting in, as it were. This one's called Jagras, and Jagras. It's located, there's a little latch that is behind one of the knights that kind of stands on either side of this bridge. There's a little latch back there, and by clicking it, you can gain entrance into this area. You can see why this area was abandoned. It was once the lair of another keeper attempting to keep the peace in these slums, but they built too close to the river, and it has been flooded. You can still find the entry behind the knight statue that watches over the bridge, but unless you can hold your breath, you will not make it more than a few feet down the stairs.
I have a problem with this.
Can Eric not swim?
I can, but
Do you not like water?
well, we were just talking the other day about how Book almost drowned me, and now we
Yeah,
come
well,
here and this place is
I
flooded.
figured you were being figurative. I didn't know you
Nope,
had a
not
problem
this time.
literally. Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, maybe it means nothing, but
so everybody's here, right?
Mm-hmm. Let
Georgie,
me ask
ladies
Georgie a
first.
question, too. Have you
Yeah.
dragged Willow with you again? Or have you left her back at the house? I guess, what's the situation with Willow? Is the frightened girl standing
Yeah.
behind you once again?
No, not today. Not with this particular location we're going.
Right. Did you leave her with Adeline?
I would have left her at the house.
Mhm.
She's probably just like working on whatever project I gave her in
Right.
the room.
Yeah, and it was another
So-
long day.
Yeah, she can, unwind at her own pace and have a bit of quiet time to herself.
Right. So it's
Just
the
me.
yeah, it's the three of you. You're standing there, Eric. Honestly, I think all of you, it kind of reminds you of the cisterns you had entered from the bridge on the west slums, the one that had led you down to the body that was left there and made everybody sick. But this one's a bit different. Like, you can tell by the structure, the entryway, it's well hidden, and it just has the sense that this was something that someone took the time to craft. Unfortunately, they didn't plan for the water pressure all that well, so it's hard to tell where the leak was formed. But the place is definitely, it's just full of water. Probably you have about 3 steps before you are submerged. Around here, I mean, it's right on the riverbed, so the amount of people walking around the bridge is not a ton. There's probably a select few workers from the industrial district that might be making their way home. It's just kind of a quiet area. There's mud and moss and typical river type things. But you can definitely see why it's been abandoned. It's full of water.
Oh, fun.
well, this isn't a great place to have secret meetings, I guess. So we could take a look at the quarantine one.
Is there like an upper floor or anything, or is it just
From
warehouse?
where you're at now, like you just see stairs going down. And so with a bit of light, so all you've done, there's a little latch behind the knight that you've pressed, and it's just opened an entry kind of on the side of the large block that is kind of at the base of the bridge. And so you're able to look past this latch, this little hidden door, and you just see stairs going down. So it would seem wherever this layer is down beneath the bridge itself. but again, it's kind of dark, so it's hard to see how deep the water is. There's just not a lot to see past the water right now. You know, river water. It's just kind of muddy, murky.
Oh man, my first instinct is just to just push Eric in, but that's evil. So
yeah, a little bit. Don't do that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Don't.
So I'm just
Do
gonna
not.
kind of go down a few stairs and see if I can see.
Yeah, you start to walk down. It's without really being able to see through murky water. Like, you can feel the steps going down, and you probably walk down to just about your knees, and you have the sense as you kind of get in there, you can see probably enough that the roof above you angles down and dips down into the water. So again, it's hard to tell from here where it goes. Now, this is just using your basic abilities of just walking and feeling the stairs and seeing how far they go. There's other ways of gauging the depths of things. You're all very capable people that don't have to just deal within your mortal human beings. Yeah, I guess I would say if you all want to, if this is an investigation you're doing, you're trying to see how deep it is, you know, let's talk about that. There's obviously many ways to investigate something like this. Each of you kind of have your own techniques of doing so. So you probably see William walk in a little bit. William, you make it, you know, a good probably 5 steps in. The water's up to your knees. You can tell that the ceiling dips down below the water, so the stairs obviously go down deeper than the water line, enough that you don't see the actual ceiling of the actual lair. The water is fairly muddy and murky. You just hear the sound of the water moving, like splashing against the cement as you're moving around in it, as you cause ripples in the water.
We got any rocks or anything to throw down there? Somebody got a brick? Any bricks around?
There's probably some rubble or debris around this place. Can we find something?
Right. Yeah, I mean, just looking around, it's the slums, so you can you can find probably fairly large river stones around, pebbles, maybe even chunks of the brick and the mortar that is just broken off of the bridge, just because it's, again, the slums and people don't really care for it that well.
Right. And Eric, you're resourceful. Do you have any string?
No, I don't have any on me.
How about you, George? Anything in that magic bag of yours?
I could probably make a vine grow.
Well, I wanted to.
Wait, what are you using the string for?
And drop the rock in and see how far it goes down.
How about I just have a vine crawl along the floor and see if it resurfaces anywhere?
Sure, you can do that. Just shoot down my ideas. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I haven't got string.
No, just go ahead. Just do it. It's okay. You've already shot me down. It's okay. Go ahead.
Fine. I think I will. I'll do that then.
All right. So you're gonna be using your plants to kind of investigate the area. Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds like a plan to me. There's obviously plant growth around you here on the riverbed. So what tags are you going to use here?
I will, invoke green speech to direct it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Do I have any?
Get this card list.
Nope.
I just want the one underneath it.
So get rid of this.
I'm gonna do heart and vines and eye on the exit. Because I'm not even sure if I want to be here anymore. It's kind of a pain to even get in. So I think I'll do those.
Look, it's okay. We're just gonna see.
Well, I guess I'll just apply distant roots because I don't know how far it's gonna have to stretch.
Right.
The vine. Like, I don't know how far it's gonna go before it just stays water.
Don't worry, technically it's just around the river bend.
Wrong franchise. Alright, investigate.
Hey.
Okay. Absolutely. So you kind of lean down, place your hand down, kind of close your eyes, and Eric and William, you start to see what almost looks like a snake. This vine begins to grow out and snake kind of down the stairs. It probably passes between you and the wall, William, and then begins to submerge. So yeah, I mean, you have what are your first couple questions?
Oops.
Is there anything suspicious in the water?
That is actually a very good one that I didn't even think of.
Surprise!
Surprise, I'm standing right here.
Here, there's sharks.
So as
Sharks in this.
as you send your vine down there, you start to feel it rattle off of a few things. You might even hear a sound. It sounds like some kind of metal, just slowly, like the sound of clinging metal arises through. I think for Georgie, having been one of them in the church, seeing kind of the traps that had been laid out above the church, yeah, you would feel like there might be something dangerous down there just because of the kind of place it is. The last place was trapped. This one might be as well.
Alrighty. And I guess the most logical other question is how far does the flooding go?
Like, how deep is it?
Yeah, how deep, or does it end?
Right.
Like, is there another side?
You kind of keep track of how many stairs you go down, and eventually you feel the vine kind of hit a solid area, able to travel for a bit. You're able to estimate that there's, from where William is now, which is about 5 stairs down, there's probably another 15 steps just to get to the floor. Going down, it's hard for you to navigate the floor. There's a lot of, it feels like stone, rubble. Almost feels like there was a collapse in there. So it's hard to tell like how big the room is. You can only really tell how deep the water gets. And again, it's probably about 8 to 9 feet deep. Again, about 15 stairs down to the floor.
Okay. Maybe we try the other place. 'Cause I don't really want to go into water.
That sounds fair to me.
Gee, it's almost like somebody suggested the other place. Oh, yeah.
It's a quarantine zone.
I'll mumble and crawl out of the water. Oh, another place. Okay, sure, fine. We're gonna waste time. Let's go.
Well, I mean, I guess we have a backup if we must.
I mean, I could probably.
Yeah, it goes pretty deep, and it feels like there's traps down there.
Oh, that's no good.
It's
Well, we could
working
just-
good right now against us, but
Well, just ask some locals to go down and open it up. It's okay.
That is a terrible idea. Let's not do that.
yeah, let's not
What? Who said
involve
that?
anyone.
How terrible.
Oh boy.
Right. So you begin to kind of make your way, close it back up, flip the latch, make sure everything's safely sealed just in case. And Eric, you kind of go through your mind once more to recall what the other place was. It was location Ruinos. It's located in the old boroughs, and having spent so much time down there, you've probably passed by it a few times. There's a ruin that juts out from the quaint old streets, forlorn and forsaken. In some cases, it's a relatively modern building, abandoned after a catastrophe. In other cases, it's an ancient, macabre place like a church or a castle or a stone. It seems to be in the eye of the beholder. For whatever reason, this is one of those places that people tend to avoid. The haunted house on the hill, a large iron gate out front covered in ivy and twisted vines, moss bars the way. Dark birds hang above the tall pillars, the tall pointy roofs, cawing down and watching those that pass by. The whole place seems to hang in shadow, seems to consume the light from the lights outside, lights that they often try to replace, keep lit, but continue to burn out. This
Well, that
place
sounds
just feels
fun.
like it gives you that feeling of you do not want to go in there.
Oh, cozy.
I mean, that's good for a hideout, unless there's actually something evil inside.
True.
Right. Well, in we go.
Yeah. Let's see what
Wait.
we find here.
Said it was a church. I don't like churches.
You tell me, William. What are you seeing? It's this ruin in the middle of the old boroughs, a place that you've passed by probably as you're visiting Mike or you're spending your time doing your research at the university. What is this ruin?
I don't like it, whatever it is. I don't know if it was some kind of church or where do they send the priests to train?
A monastery? No,
Or
it's not that.
seminary?
Seminary, yeah.
Seminary, yeah. It's an old seminary. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it creepy.
It's very ooh. I don't want to go in there.
Come on. It's not like it's full of water or anything.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
Then you shouldn't have a problem with an empty building.
Do you want to hang out in the lobby and we'll check it out?
I'll wait outside. You let me know what it's like.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So you come to this large iron gate, again twisted shut with age and rust. Do you jump over it? Do you try to cut through the vines and allow the gate to open? How do you get past the gate?
Can I have the vines just pull them apart so we can slip in?
Yeah, I would say I'm gonna say this is going toe to toe with the gate. Yeah, you're using your vines to basically break through just the dead vines and the rust that's there. So you're just using it to struggle for control.
Sweet. When Georgie fights Gate.
It's gates in this game. It's stairs in my other. So.
well, gotta fight something inanimate. Alright.
How's it going, guys?
I think I'll use green speech, heart vines, and opportunist this time since she's slapped. Oh, actual tools. Can use. Okay. Go toe to toe.
Okay.
Damn, are you serious?
So I'll kind of
Freaking
tell you
gate.
what's gonna happen here. Like you twist the vines and you attempt to like pull apart the front gate, but you realize like it's not just the gate that's pulling apart, it's the entire front part of this fence is about to come down. So what's the one that you choose there? You're pulling it down, but the entire gate's coming down with it.
Guys, do we need this gate?
Probably not. And even if we did, somebody will probably just put a new one in.
Okay. And I just let it collapse.
Probably wouldn't be the first time.
All right. So are you? Which one of those selections are you doing? I guess you just managed to achieve your goal. Yeah, you're just letting it loose. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just whatever. It's like, oh shit. Okay, it just fell. That's
I mean, this is a full fence that you're pulling down on top of you and Eric, and I'm guessing William, you're all standing there as well. I mean, it's not like this tiny little thing. This is a full iron gate that you just pulled down. I'm gonna need all three of you to face danger as these
I
pointy
believe
spikes
in your reflexes.
I believe I may have misunderstood the danger we were in.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I was outside, but okay. Well,
You're all outside.
Yeah, we're
There's a gate that bars the entrance to this facility. You have to get
Gee,
past that first.
Thanks, champ.
That face
You're
danger.
welcome.
Yeah, face danger.
Yeah, this is a tier 2 tetanus scratch. Okay. Rusted metal giving you a good slice. All right, Georgie's able to avoid that. So yeah, you take a tier 1 scratch.
Face danger.
Itchy. Go call it a tier 1 itchy scratch. Oh, William just completely avoids it. Absolutely avoids
See,
it.
I believe in you.
Well,
You
hey,
believe
look.
in me.
My escape
What?
artist stuff was in the theme that I lost.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This will be fine.
You can do it?
Wait, am I getting a tag as well, or?
So yes, Georgie, you have a tier 1 itchy scratch.
Itchy.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Cool.
William gets out of the way, and what about Eric?
Oh, I'm still looking for tags.
Okay, so we're gonna do.
I got 2. I'll see what I can do with these.
I'm gonna clear this tag. Bit more space on my cards for things. Oh.
Oof.
Well, that sounds like something I would do.
All right.
wait.
Yeah,
Hold
no,
on.
you take...
Can I?
Can you? Yeah, you can do something. You
I
got out of the
I
way.
got a thing.
You do have a thing, Mr. William.
Which one is it?
It is the...
Do I not have that thing anymore?
You should. Let me see. I'm pulling up your special moves here.
Uh.
You have 2 that you
You
might
try to
actually
keep
work
up.
here. I think.
Or-
So when
I
2 or
think-
more of you are facing danger against the same status and you get hit, you may choose to extend. No, that's just you trying to
No,
move it on to
that's-
someone else.
Yeah. I have to try to keep up. It's my mobility
Right.
improvement.
Once per session, when you or someone rolls 6 or less and the MC makes a move, you can make an additional single action that takes place before the MC's move takes place. So this would be, I guess, can William grab Eric and pull him out of the way as he's going through? That's going to just be a take the risk, knowing that the danger, you can tell you're going to be able to get out scot-free. Slowing down to grab Eric you might both
Let's see,
get
what did I
nicked.
use? Okay. Eric might be screwed because I might just leave him.
Hmm.
Well, technically, this is you going back in time. You already had your success, so you're. It's like you know that you have the opportunity to get out with no effect, no status at all, but you are recognizing that Eric is a bit slower than he used to be.
But it's just a tier 2 status.
It is, yeah. You're not going to get killed by this, but
You're fine, Eric. You'll be okay. I'm just gonna not worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sorry.
Awesome.
all right.
I'll save it for when we really need it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
Eric, go ahead. It's a tier 2, just bleeding scratch. It probably feels a bit itchy as well. You see, William just immediately darts back, and I think the speedy moves causes you to turn and like watch him, Eric. And yeah, you just feel this metal point scratch you down the back, kind of arch back, feeling it. Georgia, you probably just get a bit of it just on your leg as you try to back away. This large iron gate slams down with this massive iron clang on the cobblestone, echoing throughout the area. There's a few people that were down the street a bit that were just passing by. This loud ruckus noise has caused their attention. Now they're kind of looking, why are there these 3 individuals going into that place? You've kind of caused yourself to have a bit of an audience.
I'm just gonna stare at him. I'm just gonna stare at the people. It's okay. I'm not gonna try and convince them. I'm not gonna try to do nothing. I'm just gonna stare at them.
I,
Oh my God.
Pull a mic.
however,
Is not helping.
will.
Oh my God.
I'm pulling a mic. It's okay. I'm just gonna stand there and stare.
Again, not helping.
I am going to. I'm going to start a line of BS about how we were here to investigate reports of mysterious goings on here, which is, sort of true, but not really.
Right. Yeah, we're just here to. We're here on official business. Go ahead and give me a convince.
All right.
Convince these folks that you're here because you're supposed to be.
Just something like. There we go.
I'm actually going to try to turn this into a little bit of publicity for my show because I really need the cash from that. So.
You're the rich one. What's wrong with you? You do your thing then, champ.
Yep, working on it.
Be right back.
Now, I do have an improvement on this that I can get myself once per session a +1 tier when I convince, so there's that going on.
What you got there, champ?
I am just checking to see if I want to throw any weaknesses on it. I've got my tags picked out. I've got crowd pleaser, celebrity, and center of attention. Those all seem pretty applicable.
I don't have any health points or anything.
It's
All
okay.
I have is hurt points for everybody.
Nice.
I have made mistakes.
I'm just going to roll it like this. I'm not going to throw any weaknesses.
Hey.
Right. Okay. So we're supposed to be here. We're doing research, and you're doing this to kind of draw attention to your show.
Yeah, I'm kind of setting this up as me trying to use my magical abilities to put whatever spirits or whatever there are here at rest.
Interesting. I like that. Okay. Yeah. So as far as the status here. I think it's a matter of just they have expectations a bit. Yeah, you're here to. Are people familiar with that? Is that an element of Eric that's been here, kind of allowing spirits to rest? That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's actually kind of opposite to what I normally do. So let me rephrase that a little bit,
Right.
because it'd be more along the lines of I'm here to investigate reports that there are ghosts, which I don't. Well, we'll see what happens there. I'm just here looking for ghosts based on what I've heard from other people.
Right. I'm here to probably prove someone wrong. Like someone's saying this place is haunted, and I'm here to prove them wrong, kind of thing.
Right, and that I'm not afraid of any ghosts that people care to threaten me with.
All right. I think there's probably a little conversation of like, oh really, and who told you? They definitely understand it, and you're probably not the first person to try to investigate this place. So in a way, they're like, it's just another outsider. But you may have a few potential patrons to attend your next show, depending on how this goes. But for now, it seems the attention of the Fallen Gate has been relieved. You now all stand and you face this building. This, well, it looks like it should be brick building, but now there's so much just moss and ivy growing on it. It's hard to tell what color that brick was. A single door stands up this pathway, a curving stone, overgrown grass and rocks just on either side. There's a little peak above the door, many windows across the front, and again a large kind of steeple at the very top, as which as soon as you cross over the gate to kind of step onto this path, you hear the birds start to call out, just cawing at you. Crows, blackbirds, just making a general ruckus. But Eric, Georgie, William, suppressing the shivers down your spine, understanding you've faced things that few other people would even understand. What's the plan?
Sort of just kind of head on inside.
In we go, I guess. Sort of very cautiously, kind of.
I'm walking in
Scooby-Doo
full
style.
confidence and swagger, in case those people are still watching.
Oh golly gee, boss, we gonna find ghosts? Yeah.
So, as you get to the door, you kind of brush away some of the ivy and some of the leaves. It's old, kind of. It's not too difficult to brush it away. Hasn't been watered recently. You can see that there's symbols of one of the. It's probably a religion that was really, really popular for a while, but has kind of died down. Definitely one of the older religions here, because it is in the old borough. There's a bit of. There's a couple windows that look through, and a few of the panes have been broken out. Eric, you're there at the front. You kind of look through, and the whole place, it's just dark. It's not what you see, but what you smell that surprises you. What is it that catches your scent? Well, what do you smell as you kind of look through this small window in the door?
A smell like scented candles that just got extinguished.
Right, so kind of you have the sweet smell of the candle itself with that kind of bitter smoke. It smells, and it probably wafts out to all of you as well. There's a bit of damp to it as well, like the smell after a very heavy rain has passed. Georgie, the smell of this candle, it brings you back, as many scents can do. You just have a brief recollection, a memory of sorts. What is this smell making you remember?
It is a brief memory of the day she was dropped off at the orphanage.
Right, so this is like almost an infantile perspective, because you were, what, 2 or younger at that point?
Like 6-ish, something.
Okay, so
yeah.
A very, very early memory. It was a smell hanging off of whoever was taking you to this place. Maybe it had just rained, and that's where you're getting that smell from. What was it? Just one person, 2 people, a group of people? How many people were leaving you there as you see this?
It was 2.
That didn't sound good.
That sounded
William.
very painful. What just happened?
No, it's my husband.
It wasn't me.
He like choked on a beer.
Oh no! And
That was
the
bad.
you hear the ghost.
That was the ghost.
The choking ghost, they call it.
Spooky ghost. Ah.
Couldn't take his liquor. It was a man and a woman, and she wants to believe that they might have been her parents, but she can't remember their faces. It's just the back of their heads because they were big and she was small.
Right.
Yeah, that's about it.
You can feel the handle, and that's when you notice on the handle itself, Eric, you kind of look past the religious symbology, and you can see there etched into the end of the round knob is the symbol of the order, the same symbol that you have on your you have on your badge. Sorry, my mind was wandering there. It kind of relieves you for a moment. You're like, wait, yes, this was their safe house.
Yeah. Should be fine.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You just open the door?
There's nothing
It's-
like weird about the door, is there? I mean, other than the symbol being on there.
No, I mean, Eric knows what this building is. He's probably seen a few other buildings like this. It just looks old. It hasn't been opened for a long time. The fact that it's unlocked might seem a bit strange. If you wanted to investigate further, you definitely could. But just getting a general reading, no. It doesn't seem... It just seems like an entrance that no one has used for a long time.
Yeah, I think unless anybody objects, I just open the door.
Alright, here's hoping there's no booby traps.
Swing the door open. It creaks open. There's a bit of a rush of wind causes a bit of the leaves and dirt to displace across the room. The entryway is no more than just an entryway. A few benches off to the side, you can see it leads into what could be a few bedrooms off to one side, maybe a kitchen place of gathering. Straight ahead, you can see a few double doors. One of them is open and leaning off its hinge, and there's a bit of light coming through. The sunlight is coming through. It appears to be a stained glass window. It seems to be some kind of church or some kind of religious area. There's some stairs on either side that seem to lead up to a second floor that is above this general area you're in now. The entire place just reeks of age, smells of dust. That sweet sense you just had no longer there. Instead, just the smell of dust and dirt and old leaves and things that are just well aged. You stand inside and take a moment to listen. Kind of hear talking off in the distance, and you realize it's just people walking by. A gust of wind goes by in the front, blows a couple leaves by, and the building itself stands silent.
Want to close the door behind us. The idea was that we wanted this so that we'd be kind of off the grid for the rest of the order, so closing it up behind us doesn't sound like a bad idea to me.
Swing it closed. You can see that up above the entryway there's a large, looks like type of a chandelier place that lights would be hidden across all of the entry ports on the side. You don't see standard lanterns. You see areas to place almost like torches, large, bulky wood, having not been lit for many, many years. The main source of light is coming from that far room, the reds and yellows and oranges of this stained glass cascading a rainbow of light throughout that room and a bit through the door into this front entry hall. Looking around in here, it seems just like a normal building. Similar to the church you'd been to out in the West Slums, where it was a working facility. Just empty and barren.
There's got to be some kind of secret.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why it's been quarantined. There doesn't seem to be anything that would make it that way.
Is there a study that maybe we could find, I don't know, recordings or writings of what may have been the history of this place?
Yeah. If you begin to kind of explore the facility, you have to go upstairs to have some of the more private areas, but you do find a library. Just a quick look around. Again, most of the books, they're just rotted with age. The few ones you're finding, they seem to be dating back to, again, an old religion that there might still be followers, maybe a few churches that still exist, but it's not a popular one. It doesn't have a large following here, but probably something, again, just by going through school, you're familiar with it. There are probably some bits of parchment that you're able to piece together, and they seem to be letters, almost practice letters, writings, things that you would expect students to be detailing, as if someone is writing a book report. I guess that's the best way to play it, but based off of the religious books that are in here, someone's writing up details about their thoughts, perspectives, their ideas of what the meaning of the text is it seems to be a place that religious men of old times, relative dating back to maybe 100 years ago, maybe a little more, men that came here to learn, to become ordained, or prepare themselves to go out and form their own churches. It's a teaching place, a school of sorts.
Okay.
All right. Well,
As far as its relation to the Order, you don't find anything out in the public, which again, you would not have known about that place in Whitechapel if you hadn't had been told how to find it. Going back to playing the certain keys, releasing the hatch, all of that stuff.
I kind of want to snoop around a bit and see if there is any sort of hidden latches or secret trapdoors to creepy basements or anything cool like that.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead and investigate.
yeah, because nothing bad ever happens.
And because you had access to the Keeper's Handbook, I'll give you a bonus as well. Because I think, again, you might be able to be piecing back some details, some elements of the text that you can recall.
Sounds good to me.
Find us the secret. I'm just kind of standing in the middle of the room looking around anyways.
So I have this smoke and mirrors tag under subversion, which is basically when I do stuff to misdirect and whatnot, but could that also be used for finding stuff where, when I'm snooping around, like, oh, this looks like the most boring piece of wall ever. I bet there's something there kind of thing.
Is that not what the "oh please you don't expect me to fall for that" tag is for?
You know what? Yeah, actually that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I see any weaknesses that apply this time either, so I guess I'm just going to roll it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey.
So yeah, Eric begins to kind of look around the facility, trying to find anything to piece together. Okay, we're here. There's nothing popping out of the walls. Like, what is it that we're looking for? What is your first question?
Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm muted. The first question is simply, is there like a secret room or I don't know how do I want to
You're looking
say
for
it.
trapdoors, fake walls, latches, things like that. No, you don't find anything. You search through every place that in your mind, and you would know the best about these trapdoors and stuff. You're pulling on the torches. You're seeing if the bookcases move. You're checking the floor. You're pulling rugs. You're moving things, displacing. There is no sign of any fake wall, trapdoor, anything like that.
Okay.
So, are we just kind of watching him like tug at carpets and smack on walls and the like?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Not your most interesting show.
I mean,
I didn't
Georgie's
even know about the other
upstairs
secret bed,
looking through books. Eric's kind of searching around the facility. William, you're just kind of observing for the moment. And then,
I didn't know anything about the other place, the other like secret hatch or whatever.
right.
I just knew there were bad guys trying to kill Eric, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll fight that, sure. So I don't know.
So my search, was that for like hidden compartments as well, not just secret rooms, but I mean like
Right.
like
Yeah.
floorboards, things like that. So it's for everything.
You don't see any like any physical hidden anything. It's the foundation, the entire building is as it appears.
Okay. Then can I find out anything about why it was abandoned? Maybe there's something in some books or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You find something in the pew.
Oh boy.
It looks like a journal. And that's maybe the only hidden compartment you find, is maybe this thing was hidden away, or maybe it's not. It's just there. And at first it seems to be the standard kind of daily entries of someone that was teaching here, a lead pastor or priest. But you could tell, kind of looking through it, there is also a bit more information about the general public than you would expect for them to have. That's when you kind of pieced it together, like, okay, maybe this is the writing of the past keeper. He's keeping tabs of the public. Towards the end, he starts to reference, I cannot stand the sight of my own face anymore.
Okay.
My eyes have been forced to see things that I wish I could not have seen. Why am I being tortured with the burdens of my soul? It starts to change, become rambling. I have removed my eyes, but I still can see.
What?
The men around me flee when it's just me. I don't understand what this can be. Just stranger and stranger. I have no choice but to end it.
Well, that's fun.
So yeah, it seems like the keeper was driven crazy, and well, it's unclear what happened after he decided to end it.
I will hand the book off to William. Be like, hey, you were worried about this place, but really, there's nothing to worry about. Have a look at the last few pages. It's fine.
I'll thumb through it. Rambling. Oh, suicide. I got your eyes. Okay. Yeah, no, totally fine.
Yeah, this is a great place.
Yeah, okay. So everybody stick together.
Wait, where's Georgie? I haven't seen Georgie. Have you seen Georgie? Oh God.
Oh no, whatever will we do?
So I guess I have one more question left. So unless
You do.
anybody has something to ask, I guess I have a final question, which isn't terribly exciting, but it's kind of the whole reason we came here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh no.
oh no.
So
Ask
good
your
question.
Okay.
And then we all commit suicide there.
Stop it. Stop it. What is the place where we could be the most protected from prying eyes and ears in this place?
Place your badge upon the pew. Reading through the madman's notes.
Always follow the madman's notes. If I've learned anything
if you
from
want
horror,
the sacred place the order provides, you must place the order symbol upon the pew.
okay. Here we go.
Slap it down the badge.
Great. Right after the train, no less. This is going to be fun.
As
we
you
haven't-
place your badge upon the pew, you see it almost fade into, almost like the pew is accepting it. The room for all three of you immediately fades away. You are no longer standing in a church. You are standing in what you could... It looks like a mere funhouse of a fair. And the faces that you're seeing reflected upon the mirrors, they are not the faces of Eric, Georgie, and William, no. They are the pure and unadulterated faces of each of your mythos. Please describe to me what you look like, William, and we'll go down the line.
Oh boy. Of my mythos, huh?
The pure, unadulterated face of your mythos.
I don't know what he looks like.
Google.
Yeah, cause wasn't it? It was. There's nothing known about him, you know. You said that yourself.
Here, I'll...
Because it wasn't Deacon Frost. It was the other guy. And somehow his name hasn't been written down. It wasn't saved.
Oh, don't worry, it has. I have it somewhere.
But it was Blade's dad.
Right. There's pictures of him.
Well, I never bothered looking. Let's Robert Brooks. Oh boy, doesn't he look? That's something. It's just all pictures of Blade. Oops. Or not, because I haven't actually. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared to show my true self. Yeah. Here.
Do we even see his reflection?
Oh, that's a good question.
And if we don't, then does he just descend?
I mean, you would still see him standing there. You may not actually see his. Yeah, you're looking for You're looking for Lucas Cross, by the way. There.
Oh, yeah.
I can help him out. You see a...
That is a rather white man.
Yeah, in William's spot, he is a tall, thickly built linebacker-looking, bald, white man. And he does not have a reflection in the mirror. It's about 6.5 feet tall, 224 pounds. And wearing a fairly nice suit, much nicer than the one William had been wearing. Georgie, what about you? What do the boys see?
A fair woman, hair like the grain of wood. I want to say it's like colored like that, and it kind of gives the illusion it's wavy. And her eyes kind of glow gold. Her father was the Sun Titan, so she inherits a little bit of it. But at her feet is a line. And her expression is pretty... It's... I don't want to say stern, but she's watching, like, reading whatever she sees.
Right. And Eric? What do we see with Eric?
Well, nothing terribly fancy. In fact, I kind of cheated a little bit and used a picture for him already. So
did.
let's fix it up a little bit. A bit older. Eric is like young 20s ish, probably. The man that you see in the reflection is 30 something. He's much more built than Eric is. He exudes much more of an air of confidence than you've ever seen Eric do. He stands tall and proud, and his eyes don't miss a single thing.
So we all look relatively normal.
You do, but you are no longer yourself.
Not Georgie.
No. As you are here, you all feel your logos does not exist in this plane.
Oh, crap.
You're not avatars. But here in this place, you are not at all protected by the mist. Completely exposed to whatever is beyond the mist, whatever has made you this way, this funhouse of mirrors. Well, you can tell it's a safe place. It also forces you to look deeply upon what's inside. For those of you that look fairly normal, that probably isn't that big of a deal. But if you had something darker within you, this could be a very scary place.
Oh, yeah.
After you take a moment to adjust, you start to recognize the concaves of the room, that it's not just a pure circle of mirrors. No, there are hallways. Begin to pass through them, and it seems like there are 3 main areas, all of them still surrounded by mirrors. You walk down a hallway, and there's perpetual light here as well, and you can't account that for the sun. It just seems to be a white glow. Again, no shadows expose you for completely what you are, but there's a little area that seems to have a series of notes, research, the keeper's personal information, his little desk. There is one room that you can't get close to. It's at the far end of the hall. You can't get too close to it because there is an immense amount of heat irradiating from it. You don't see the source of fire. You just feel everything. I would say, Georgie, you're probably able to get the closest in your current form, having your father be who he was. But even you were stopped from getting all the way through. And the last room is a storage room, but right now the only thing that's in there are vials and vials and vials of medication. Pill bottles, tinctures, potions, all variety of medical items.
Wow. Isn't this lovely?
It is pretty fascinating.
Right.
Oh.
Georgie, well, actually, as you're continuing to march down here, I know people out there watching. You thought I forgot about Thomas. I think I
We were
probably
hoping.
everybody, now that you've had time to search around, let's see what Thomas can add to spice up the situation here. So I believe that would be you, Eric. Go ahead and roll me a D3, please.
No way.
Hmm.
No way.
Sorry.
How? How every time?
It's magic. There's an evil magic afoot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. So just every time Thomas comes by, I'll just do the frickin' roll, and we'll just.
All right, William, you know what to do. All right, so you're doing good as long as you roll low on the first dice. That's all that matters. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So for this one, I have you recognize something from your historical knowledge. You're definitely in an ancient place. The building that you came into, this now strange room. There's something important that you recognize. I'll just ask you, what is it?
What important historical thing do I recognize?
Well, there's something you can connect to in this strange place where you can't recognize your face or the face of the crew around you, beyond Eric to a point. You find something down here that pulls you back in. Something that you're like, yes, I remember that.
You know, I think. No, that'd be too cheesy. I was gonna say I would just like. I don't know. God, I don't know. Why couldn't I have just gotten something that like attacks me? That would have been easier. Let's go with a stone tablet that I studied when I was in college. Like a picture of, anyways.
Right. So you find something that
It's like part of the history of the city that I had seen, learning.
You know what?
Sorry.
I'll give you. Yeah. No, I'll give you one better. It's not just a stone tablet. No, it is one of the 3 stones.
Oh.
It is the one with the water on it, the 2 waves.
Oh.
And you can see it, but it is behind one of the mirrors. So you can see it. It's like it's there. And when you walk in, it's probably in the, I'll say it's in the keeper's notebook and desk area. One of the mirrors seems to have a layer in front of it where you can see the stone is standing there, probably about 7 feet tall, dark rock. And there's 2 wave-like lines that go from left to right. Right about maybe 6 inches from the very top of it. Eric, you see this as well. Recognize from the sketches and from the description in the book, there's a holy shit moment. Is this really here?
This can't. I mean, it can't be here, right? She said that they destroyed them all, right? Eric is just sort of asking that to no one in particular, just sort of coming out of his mouth.
I'm gonna try and grab it.
Your hand hits solid on whatever is between you and that stone.
I'm afraid to ask, but do you mind if I give it a try?
There's a distinct pause, and I'm like, okay.
So I'm sorry. What was? It's behind some glass or some plate or something like
It's
that?
hard to tell what it's behind because you have just, it looks like you're still looking into a mirror. You can still see a reflection back from it. And it's like this stone is behind that mirror. You can see the stone behind it. It's like if you focus on yourself, that's all you see. If you focus on the stone, that's all you see. It's a very strange illusion or whatever this is.
Exactly.
Is this a mirror of Erized moment?
I'm going to try to focus on the object, the tablet, but I'm not going to look directly at it because I just feel like there's a misdirect happening here.
Right.
So I'm gonna kind of try to maybe watch it through my periphery and see where there might be a catch or some way that I can get behind whatever seems to be holding it in place.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, you're not affected by the mist here. It's what you're seeing. I don't know if I'm even gonna have you roll that because of who you are right now.
I definitely had some tags.
Stone. That stone is not in this room. There is no way to get to that stone through this glass. In this strange place, that stone is appearing, yes, but its physicality, where it's actually located, is not known. There appears to be no way to physically touch this stone from where you are now.
Okay. This is not here right now. Its image is being cast from somewhere else, or we're looking in at it through some sort of device, some sort of magical effect or device of some kind.
Well, this place is like a hall of mirrors. Kind of magical, twisted hall of mirrors.
I wonder.
Maybe it's in the hot room.
Maybe. I'm thinking the other possibility is that it is somewhere back in the real world and we missed it somehow, and it's just casting its image in here.
Or are we in the real world?
You feel like it has a purpose of being here, while it may not actually be past that sheet of glass. Yeah, I would say let's do an investigate. Let's see if we can get some things a bit more clear.
Okay. So I'm not allowed to use logos right now?
No, it is just your mythos at this point, my friend.
Okay. Well, I still have 2 tags that can apply here because I feel like smoke and mirrors definitely seems appropriate, and oh please, you don't expect me to fall for that. The other stuff doesn't really apply, so it's just really those 2.
Right?
I really don't want to. I want to, but I don't want to. I want to use one of these hurt points.
Right.
Because I really don't want Eric getting this thing. I want him to get it, but I don't want him to have it. So I don't know if I should or not. I'm gonna use it.
All right.
So what are you doing then? to hurt him.
Well, he's just kind of probing around for it, right?
I think he's trying to understand, yeah, what's its purpose is. Where is it at?
I think I might just try to distract him by, just start slapping on all the walls and the like while he's trying to think.
Right. So just making a loud ruckus.
Messing up my concentration.
Yeah, just screwing up his concentration while he's trying to figure it out, while I'm also kind of like poking the walls and like, hey, what about this or that?
Cool.
Just something childish, but I don't want him to have it. So. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
Oh shit! I was not expecting to succeed on that one.
All right, then good job.
Despite your
I just
efforts
need
to
slap
annoy
on
me
some
to
more
death.
walls, hey, what about this? What about that?
Hey, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
What? I hear the most annoying. So you've got your one power there.
Yeah.
I
so
do.
What is your question?
Sorry, thinking this up a little bit because this is kind of important.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have screwed with it, but I feel like it's something I should have
No,
done.
it's all good. No, I'm totally down with that for sure. I'm just trying to think. If I had 2 questions, this would be a lot easier, but just one is a little harder. I think I'm more interested in maybe getting to the heart of the matter than getting the thing itself. So, I guess my question would be, why is it here?
That's a good question.
The stone is what is making this place the way it is. Like water will expose all, as does this stone. In its presence, it will wipe away all elements of you as an individual and directly link you to your God. Its purpose is to make this place as it is, to expose all that enter to the glorious gifts they hide inside.
Oof. Okay.
Maybe we should have brought Willow.
Oh boy. That, I'm afraid to think what would have happened if we had.
Right.
Would have been fun.
Eric, I mean, that just makes you like you feel the religious symbology of that, almost like this room is a baptism of sorts. Like you come down here to wash away the ickiness of being a human, and just get to see yourself as the glorious God that you are, as Georgie in a way kind of is staring at herself in the mirror. But just understanding how much torture that can be for a person, especially someone that is not aware at all about why this is happening to yourself. You can see why the pastor went mad. To see that you are not in control, even though you are. This gives the illusion that you're not. You are not in control of yourself. And I know, especially with Eric, that is something difficult maybe for you to understand. Like this person inside me that has similar features looks almost like a brother that I never had. Is he really inside my skin? Is he really the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing? Am I even making my own choices?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much hitting on both of my mysteries.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of gonna get a little lost in thought for a little while here.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Because Georgie, I want to know. William's just banging on the walls. William's out of his element at the moment. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, it's
You
a little
are
hard for me to
seeing.
tell where I'm at.
You're seeing yourself exactly where you want to be. You see the power within you. Power that's been growing recently. What's going on with Georgie? What is she thinking right now?
Oh man. What the heck? It's rather overwhelming. But in a way, it calms her to know that there is, I guess, like, an image to what these powers are and what's, like, tugging her in various directions. Yeah, it's a lot of what and still why going through her head.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say Cersei is probably tugging her towards the storeroom where all the medication is. Because
Right.
she knows what it is.
How much? That's a very interesting thing. I think she definitely finds some of the tinctures and the potions familiar, because they are made of plants and berries and things that she understands, things that she may have used herself. Georgie sees beyond those old bottles, things that look well aged, things that don't seem like they are 100 years old, things that seem like they're hundreds of years old. But there's tablets that you can find in there. Large, thick pills. Orange bottles with strange white tape around it. Mixed within these bottles of clay and ceramic potions and tinctures, Georgie comes across 20th century cancer medication. Something she's seeing both the old and the unknown, and something futuristic. A standard orange for us, it's standard, right? The orange bottle with the printed label on it. To Georgie, you've never seen anything like that.
Plastic. Or whatever the substance is.
Right.
She definitely takes it in hand and reads it. And though she's like taking it whatever it says, it's just kind of mumbo jumbo to her at this point. Like, take whatever for, the dosage and whatever.
Right. I think what is even more strange for Georgie is, like, it gives an address of wherever this pharmacy was, wherever it was actually given. And it's like an address in the blue collar district that you recognize, but right now that's just the address of like a standard apartment building, a place that you may have passed by. There's no clinical doctor there.
Is there a patient name?
There is. his name. Let's see here.
Tobias Funk.
Julian Heinrich.
Okay. Is that in any part a name I recognize?
Yeah, it's not a common name. It's nothing you can see in this room. If you begin looking through the Keeper's notebooks and supplies, you do see the initials JH on it. So I think Georgie can determine Julian's probably the name of the Keeper that was here.
Interesting. He's definitely dead. Or so it seems.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Damn it!
You don't see a body in these rooms. I didn't see a body upstairs. There's no... It would be hard to tell. I mean, from this area, there's no way to confirm whether he's dead or not.
Alright. I think I'll bring over the plastic orange bottle and show them, like, hey, it's a little weird right here.
Right. William, Eric, your response to seeing a 20th century medicine bottle?
What are those?
What is that even
What?
made of?
Where'd you find that? What is?
It was in a storeroom with all the other medication. The name of the patient is the Keeper. And I point to, like, well, the journal, I guess, that Eric still has.
Right. I would say at this point you've probably skimmed through the journals. Amongst just the general reports, a bit more details of the information you find outside, this place seems to have also been where the Order brought people for a while to see what was inside them. And you probably get some dates in there as well. The upstairs is definitely ancient, unused, untouched, but down here, and again, Eric, that's why it's a bit strange. Why did he have that hidden upstairs, unless maybe it was his hope that no one else would enter, his warning, his place closed. But yeah, this is really only coming back to maybe 7 years ago. Between 5 and 7 years. It has not been a long time. This place down here has certainly been used within the past decade.
So wait, it's not a where are we? It's a when are we?
Well, it's definitely a mixture. You have the note upstairs that definitely places the keeper having transcribed notes way back, about 100 years ago. You also have notes of him transcribing information about 5 to 7 years ago down here. Either he was a very old person, or he could affect time in some way.
This place is fascinating, really.
There are items of not of our time here, all seemingly to belong to this keeper. Do you think he's still among us? In some fashion.
Maybe. But where would he be? Is there any place we haven't been?
The
Just
room
the one
you
room.
can't enter because it's too hot.
Because fire, right?
Oh, you don't see any fire. It's just heat.
Well, okay, the heat.
Right.
Right.
Right, well, we need to figure out a way into that room then. Any ideas? Should we just walk in, force ourselves to go in, use a big stick?
If we knew how hot it was on the other side, I might have a way, but I don't want to hop over there and then have all of the flesh boiled off my bones.
Don't you have a fancy clone?
I don't know what ever happened to him. He could be anywhere. He could be... Last I saw him, he was surrounded by those death hounds, though.
I thought you could
Didn't
like
imagine.
materialize him. I'm not like asking.
He
as William,
can
just, like,
materialize himself a bit.
Yeah, I wasn't too clear about that because it was sort of like a weird, crazy accident where it happened.
Exactly. That
So-
was kind of a... It's something that I think we talked about you growing into. Like,
Yeah.
we just hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
So, what happened to the clone? Unknown.
Alrighty then.
But,
It's
Where's?
oh, I would say, Eric, I mean,
Seems like the time is now.
that face looking back at you in the mirrors, this just seems like another trap to escape from.
The time is nigh, friend.
mm-hmm.
Too bad we didn't have. Yeah, him here. What's his name? Mike. There.
Mike?
Oh God. Yeah. Who even knows what would have happened with him around? All right. I can try. I can try to see what happens on the other side. I'm kind of freaked out by this. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. So what are you...
This doesn't seem natural at all.
No, I mean, you're walking
100%
towards
natural.
this room, and you just feel you have to stop probably a good 4 or so feet away because there's just this heat coming from it. Are you thinking you're just gonna try to dart in there real quick? Like, what's the game plan going on in Eric's head?
So there's just heat, but not fire. So I can actually clearly see what's in the other room, right?
Right, you can't see the
More or
full
less.
room, but yeah, you can see into the room. The room seems empty. You can see
Okay.
mirrors across the way again. Like, you can see yourself standing in the reflection a few feet back in the hallway. There's nothing else in there. You don't see the signs. Like, it doesn't look like a room that was used.
Jesus, I
Okay.
I might know what's in there.
I'm going to. There's not much here. There's really pretty much no way for me to hide what I'm about to do. So I'm gonna.
Well, at least you can see yourself.
I'm gonna.
Just kind of saying, what is? Hang on.
I'm gonna try to use my short-range teleportation through this like shimmering curtain of heat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to get through to the other side, to the far wall, if I can see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Problem is, I got people watching me, so that's definitely my weakness tag. Hitting.
For subversion,
Nah, the never reveals a secret one from the short-range teleport.
right?
Like, I was usually trying to like hide and then be like, oh, hey, no, that was not... I didn't just teleport, I just was too quick. But
Yeah.
really no way to do that here. There's nothing to hide behind, and I've got two people staring at me and mirrors literally everywhere, so...
Yep. Take the risk.
You can do it.
This is going to be a straight roll. One weakness, one power tag.
Hey, look at that.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
Right into the cancer room.
Yay!
Yeah.
Georgie and William, you
I'm dead.
see Eric disappear for a second and reappear in the far room. Eric, you find yourself in a space maybe 10 feet long, about 6 feet wide, empty. Except for that thing in the corner. Wait, what is that? Why is there that
boy.
sound of... Didn't hear the sound when it came in here. There's a shape that appears to be if there was someone that was sitting with their back up against the wall. But that has all faded away. The area where the mirror is, where the body rested, there's a bit of a blue light coming from the outline. And through it, Eric... I'm not sure how Eric would know what this is, to be honest. It looks like you're staring into the mouth of a black hole.
Okay. Wow. Whew.
Oh boy.
Face.
And as Eric comes to
Do it.
realize that, let's take our first break.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, break time it is. I gotta
Alright,
figure out
break time,
what my
alright.
next move is, which is maybe not getting stuck into the black void of endless eternity.